Frank, what's that smell?
Can you smell it?
I hope you're not talking about me. That's
It's the smell of victory again, Laurie. We've done it again. We're through to the next round of the Cup, and I think it was pretty routine today. You know, we keep saying it, and I don't want to be too disrespectful. It's going to sound disrespectful, but we're a top-end Premier League side against a lower-level Championship side in Preston today, and we didn't see anything that we didn't expect. In terms of the lineup, I think we had a very good mix of youth and experience. And for me, you know, it was most of the youth players that really showed up today. And I'm obviously my man of the match, Nwaneri, as you know, has knocked on the door once again. And I think that door is now open because I think personally he needs to be starting on Saturday, 100%.
Wow, so you would say that put him straight in there, yeah? No.
100%.
I think Mr. Trossard might have a few words to say about that.
And I get that, and I completely understand why Mikel would go for Trossard in this scenario. I understand he's the more experienced and the more senior in terms of ranking in the squad, but my argument for this is, if you put Trossard in from the start and it's not working, you then have to turn to Ethan, which is a lot of pressure on his shoulders. I would rather have Ethan starting in the game, and if that's not working, then we bring on a Trossard off the bench, which we've seen in the past 100% works. If anything, Trossard is better coming off of the bench, so I 100%, and I think after the game against Bolton, and the start against Preston today, Ethan deserves a chance in the Premier League to start a game, and pressure creates diamonds.
You know what, certainly he does in terms of talent, you can't
100%.
argue. I mean, we saw tonight, I think Turkish described him as the cleanest player on the pitch. And listen, the skills that he shows, the confidence, the goal he scored, he looks ready to me, but it's whether he will, the manager will put him in ahead of Trossard. I rather think that he'll go with Trossard and maybe bring Nwaneri off the bench as and when he feels he needs to. But let's talk also about Gabi Jesus, because this was quite a big game for him tonight. He's not scored in God knows how long, since January 2024. He got a goal tonight. You could see the rest of the players were very happy for him, the way they celebrated the goal with him. Big night for him tonight. What did you think of Gabi Jesus' performance?
Get your words back, Laurie.
Yeah.
I'm really happy with the way he played today. You know, I think there was a few opportunities in the game where he probably could have got more than the one goal he scored. But, you know, it's been a long time. I'm really happy for him. I think it's the first one in 25 games. And like you said, since January, not exactly the output that you're looking for from a striker. But, you know, he's been struggling a lot since the injury, and we've not seen the same Gabriel Jesus since said injury. But hopefully today is the start of him kicking back on. You know, I know he's come out in interviews and said he's not going to be that striker, but I'm hoping that he can.
He said something like scoring goals is not his forte, and he certainly lived up to that.
Which is strange for a striker. And the irony of it is, it was actually a fantastic finish to finish today. Or, you know, I think it was Kivior that heads it down into the path of him, and you know, it's a fantastic finish on the half volley. Keeper didn't stand a chance, even at his near post. You know, fantastic finish, and that's what we've seen from Gabriel Jesus in the past, and I'm just hoping that today is the start of seeing a lot more of that from him.
Yeah, and you know what was also good about that goal was that it was Arsenal's first goal tonight. Yeah. So it's not like he scored the fourth goal in a 4-0 win or something like that. Yeah. He got the first goal and made a mark. So well done to him. Well done to him. Anyone else impressed you tonight?
100%. Obviously not that he had much to do, but I think it's worth giving a lot of credit to Tommy Setford, who on his Arsenal debut kept a clean sheet today. Again, I think there was only 1 or 2 saves that you had to make, but when you keep a clean sheet on your debut, it's always fantastic to see. I think Sterling done okay. You know, I was thinking it was extremely unlucky not to get a goal in this game, and you could see how desperate they were for him to get that goal. They opted to put him up top towards the end of that half, and the only slight criticism I've got is I think that last chance at the end where it's almost put to him on a plate, I think he has to finish that, and he just tries to place it instead of putting power behind it to beat the defender. He opts to place it and it gets cleared off the line. So I felt so sorry for him in a way, but it will come. I think we just need to keep giving him minutes whenever we can. Obviously, I don't think he's, in terms of, you know, ability, I don't think he's ever going to start for us unless we need to due to injuries. But, you know, coming off the bench in these Carabao Cup games, I think that's Sterling's opportunity to shine and, you know, potentially get some goals every now and then.
Right, okay, yep, agreed. Moving forward then, we got the draw coming up. Is there any team in particular that you would like to play or not to play, as it were?
Well, there is. We've just seen full time over here. City versus Spurs. Spurs have gone through in the end. and that's who I want in the next round. I know I've said
You want Tottenham?
I want Tottenham. I want to see the North London derby in the quarterfinals. I've said it in the past, and I think I've come under a lot of criticism for saying it. I prefer to get the bigger teams earlier on in the competition. I go, no, we're getting towards the business end now, but the way I look at it is I would rather play a Tottenham or a Manchester United in the quarterfinals than play against a Tottenham or a Manchester United in the semi-finals, where it's then a two-legged affair. So if we can get through to that semi-final and potentially knock out one of the big boys, and then maybe we get a Brentford or a Southampton in the semis over two legs, then I think we're in a much better position and more likely to win the competition.
I understand your reasoning. In terms of the competition, I mean, I've asked this question to Turkish and two other Arsenal fans as well in the lead up to the game tonight. How important do you think the Carabao Cup is to Arsenal this season?
I think everyone says it the same. You know, if you look at it in terms of the importance, you know, we're in 4 competitions. We're in the Champions League, we're in the Premier League, we're in the FA Cup, we're in the Carabao Cup. In terms of importance, if you was to rank them 1 to 4, it's definitely number 4 on the list. But I don't want number 4 to be mistaken for something that's not important at all. This is a competition that we haven't won since 1993. It's a competition that I've never seen us win in our lifetime. My memories of this are losing in finals to Manchester City and Birmingham City. So I want those memories to be erased from my head, and I want to see us lift this trophy. And ultimately, I think it's important because we're in the 5th season of Mikel Arteta's reign now, and we've got one trophy to show for it if you don't include Community Shields, of course. You know, 1 trophy, 5 years, Arsenal Football Club isn't the best of returns. I know on paper Mikel has done a lot more than that, but I feel like we're going to start to get to the point where questions start to be asked. Not in terms of him losing his job, but obviously there's been a lot of money spent and there's not been much silverware in return. So if we can't get a trophy behind us this season, I think there begins to be questions asked of Mikel Arteta.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, I've expressed similar sentiments myself. Yes, it is, if you rank them in terms of priorities, definitely Premier League first, Champions League second, FA Cup third, and, as you said, the Carabao Cup fourth. However, as you also said quite rightly, it's been a long time since we won this competition, and we've not won any competition in the last 4 to 5 years. So I'm sure Mikel Arteta will be in the back of his mind, and the competition that we're in now is an opportunity to win it, give the fans a good day out, something for the fans to feel good about. So yeah, I'm absolutely with you on that. In terms of team strength, how would you like to see it play out? Do you believe in playing strong teams, or are you more happy with the kind of balance that we saw tonight?
Well, like we said earlier, we're getting towards the business end of the tournaments now. And like we said, it's only really the Premier League teams in the competition now. Obviously, we've still got the likes of Southampton and Brentford, but they are still Premier League teams. We have to bear that in mind. Now that we're towards the quarter-final stage of the competition, the business end of the competition, I think now is where you start to see the stronger teams involved. So maybe you don't get your Tommy Setfords, you get David Raya, for example. And obviously it will depend on what fixtures we've got around that, because I understand that we might have to sacrifice, not even sacrifice necessarily. For example, if we've got City before the next game, obviously I'd have to check the schedule and where the quarterfinal lies. But it will depend on what fixtures we've got around the quarterfinal to see what sort of starting 11 but we can put out. But I'm still confident in the ability of the squad as a whole. I think regardless of what fixture we've got around the quarterfinals, we have enough ability in the squad to go through to the semis.
Okay, thanks very much.